You can start.
Hi, I'm Donnie Bantle. I'm in my third year at UW Oshkosh. I graduated from Greenfield in 2014. I'm studying Spanish education and I have a psych minor. And then advice I'd give, just really try to volunteer and get to know more people when you get to college, or you're not going to like a 2-year get involved, because it's really hard to get involved for my friends that only went to a 2-year university.
My name is Natasha Zielinski. I graduated Greenfield December of 14. I'm still class of 2015. I decided to go to the Institute of Beauty and Wellness, Aveda, and got my nail tech license. And then I started college at UW Waukesha, finishing up my associate's degree. I plan to go to Whitewater this fall. I'd like to be a special ed teacher. My advice would be just try new classes, try subjects and topics that you're not too sure about, and see if you're interested in them and maybe if you'd like to pursue them one day.
Hi, my name is Wally Ugarte. I just finished my second year at the Art Institute of Chicago. I am studying interior design and architecture, and I'll be transferring up here back to Milwaukee, finishing my degree at the Milwaukee Institute of Art and Design. Currently, I'm a student, but then I also work on the design team for West Elm down in the 3rd Ward. So I'm really liking that school and work kind of just play in together. And I think the best piece of advice I could give for someone transitioning from high school to college, and even for the families, I think is trying to find what it is you like and what it is you can't stop yourself from doing. Because once you know that, that serves as your basic foundation in figuring out college, or maybe an apprenticeship, or maybe community school, and figuring out what the best path is to getting there. Because college is really expensive. So once you know that, I feel like you can go off into the world and make your contribution with a clear head and truly feeling successful, starting here inside, because you know what you like. So.
My name is Adriel Zerbad. I attended Greenfield High School from 2012 to 2016. In the second semester of my sophomore year, I started zeroing in on what I wanted to do after high school, which is something in the culinary industry. So during the summer of 2014, I took a course at MATC, which the school got me into. This was a one-week culinary camp, which I really enjoyed. It also introduced me to some of the other programs that MATC offered, including the Baking and Pastry Arts program. This is the one that I took interest in, and it's only 2 years to earn your associate degree. So that was my goal from then on, to go to MATC and get my Baking and Pastry Arts associate degree. And I was able to accomplish this sooner than I thought. Greenfield had the Youth Options program, which I got into during my senior year, and I was able to complete 1 semester of that degree during that. So I went to MATC for the first half of the day and high school for the second half. So that really helped me get a head start. As of advice, I would say there's lots of advice that I'd give to kids, but just really figure out what you want to do and do it, and then you really have to be on track with like all the deadlines, like with the FAFSA, scholarships, all that stuff. Just definitely try to be as organized as you possibly can, because that's what high school is kind of structured to do, is a very organized schedule. So in the real world, it's not quite like that. You kind of have to do that more on your own. So that's what I would say you have to start doing.
Hi, I'm Morgan Borchardt. I graduated in 2015, and now I go to UW La Crosse. I'm a psychology major and a German minor. As for advice, a mistake I made before going into college was I didn't sign up for the first orientation available, even though I could make it. I kind of put it off and ended up having my orientation in the middle of the dates. So I wasn't at the end, but all the classes started filling up. And so I didn't get into a biology class my first semester. So I would suggest, if you can go to the first orientation, go, because then you're going to get the classes you want and you don't have to wait till later. So that's my advice.
Hi everybody, my name is Jordan Potts. I graduated last year, 2016. Right now I'm getting my applied science degree over at WCTC. And I'm almost done with my first year there, and I actually just landed a job in my field, so that's what I'm doing right now. As far as my advice to you is, if your kid doesn't really know what they want to do, I would recommend either, if college is in their future, just getting their gen eds done, hopefully see the transferability across different campuses, see if those are good classes that can transfer. Or what I did was I actually just went to a tech school, WCTC, and I was doing something that was related to what I like to do, and now I already have a very nice job at 18. So until I figure out my true calling, I'll definitely be financially stable. So.
Hi, my name is John Graber. I graduated in 2014. I am a history and political science major. I went for my first 2 years at UW Waukesha, and then I transferred over to UW Madison. And I'm a junior right now. Next year will be my senior year. I'd say that my advice would be to get involved on different campuses. I think that could help people meet new people, your students, and that could also help them, make connections as to how to improve upon grades and stuff like that. Because if you have disadvantages in one class, you might meet people who help you in other classes. And then they can help you with things like homework and how to study and tests like that. And that's been really beneficial to me, meeting new people in clubs, because it has helped me in those classes that I do have a disadvantage in, and to do better in grades and tests and stuff like that.
My name is Andrew Savanash. I graduated from Greenfield in 2014. I go to the University of Wisconsin-Stout. It's located about 4 hours northwest of here, close to the Twin Cities area. I am a psychology major with a minor in cognitive neuroscience, studying to become a school psychologist. One piece of advice that I would have for students in high school more particularly is starting in high school, try to get involved in things that maybe you wouldn't necessarily think that you're super interested in. In high school I took a photography course just to, because I thought maybe it'd just be a fun class to take on the side, get a pretty easy high grade in it. And then ended up taking it all the way through my senior year, even took the AP course that was available here and got credits, and then took courses in college for that too. So, it opened the door for me to a lot of different things. I was fortunate enough to also participate in athletics in college, and so it made it easier for me to make friends and stuff that way. But, if you're able to find something that you love in high school, that you can then find something like that in college, it's like the same for me. You make friends, and it'll be easier to transition into college and everything. So.
All right, and I'm Casey Savanash, Andy's brother. I also go to the University of Wisconsin-Stout, double majoring in business administration and golf enterprise management with a retail management minor. I'm in my third year. I just got back actually last year. I spent 6 months out in Bandon, Oregon, which is a very small farming town, on an internship out there. Now I'm completely online this semester. I'm taking 12 credits, going completely online, giving me the opportunity to work more. So I'm balancing working between 25 to 30 hours a week while also going completely online to school. So for my advice to anyone, when you're seeking going to college, is don't be afraid to really do your research and look at schools that offer very unique degrees like Stout. Golf Enterprise Management is one of those degrees that when you first hear it, you almost question, is that possibly a degree that you can actually get? And all I can say is it's really gotten me to some pretty great spots. Bandon Dunes is where I spent my internship last year. That's the highest rated golf resort in the country. Spent 6 months right on the Pacific Ocean, right, just loving every minute of it. So, and it's only gotten better since. So having a degree like that, unique to Stout, unique to a small Division III college like that, is only going to allow me to pursue my passions further. So that's kind of what I would say, try to do.
Thank you to the panel. Is there anybody who has a question that they would like to ask anybody, or any of you can chime in? More than one of you can? Go for it.
So I know that, Morgan and Adriel mentioned their issues with deadlines. What, for the rest of you, what was your biggest oh crap moment in terms of getting yourself ready for college, or the biggest thing that you found to be a challenge that you weren't expecting to be as you were starting? Maybe not so much now as you're a bit more in, but.
I would love to chime in on that one because my freshman year, winter of my freshman year, I had the biggest oh crap moment of probably my life to this point was when I went to a restaurant to go out to eat and my card got declined because I had absolutely no money left and my baseline, which is the way Stout runs their meal programs, was pretty much dried up as well. I think for me, it was a matter of really, okay, I need to first of all get a job, and second of all, need to really focus more on my financial situation, more than I was at least, pay attention to the bank account. I feel like maybe that's really the moment where I realized, oh, I'm a college student, I need to start living like a college student. So I would say definitely train them a little bit more as to, get that mobile app on your phone for your bank accounts and stuff and teach them to, be checking that every now and again because eventually you're going to run out of money.
Okay, I'll snowball off of that. I think financial aid is like the biggest thing. So when it comes to deadlines, making sure, FAFSA, that's a big thing. And then having your own financial aid in line or like your own finances. And then taking advantage of scholarships. I think that's like the biggest resource that's often overlooked with students because then they say, oh, like I'm not going to get it or like there's so many other people who are applying for the scholarship, I'm not going to. But I think if you get a grasp of like every single resource that you can use as a student, and I think, if you are a student, like really take advantage of that because I think the biggest lesson that I learned, like being in a big city, my parents didn't help out, so I think trying to take advantage of like the resources, but that was like a big thing for me.
And you're not going to the cheapest schools either, between MyEd and one in Chicago.
Yeah, totally. So just that was, when it comes to like deadlines, scholarships and financial aid, and they repackage them every year too. So that was always like a lingering thought in the back of my head, like, oh, I gotta update my tax information and get that FAFSA in and stuff like that too.
What's the oddest scholarship you applied for that you were like, yeah, I didn't even know this existed?
The oddest scholarship that I think I applied for would have to be based on like my ethnicity, so just like weird stuff like that. Because there's scholarships out there. Like I think I found one and it was like if you have like big feet, like it's really weird. Or like if you, there's sports-based scholarships or like, depending on if you take like a certain extracurricular activity and there's so many different extracurricular activities, so just talking to, if you're in high school, telling your kids to like, hey, maybe you should reach out to that one teacher and see if there's any scholarships that might pertain to what it is you do, whether it be the photography class that, one of the Savanashes took, reaching out to those teachers or, if you're in sports, reaching out to your coaches and saying like, hey, do you know of any scholarship opportunities that I can maybe get a hold of? Or obviously Google, everyone does that nowadays. So,
Yeah, I was actually just going to say pretty much everything Wally just said. But I will branch off of it a little bit. Yes, there are crazy scholarships, like lots of ones. I mean, there's some that are just like gimmies for like $500. It's free money, just apply. It never hurts to apply. Apply for as many as you can. I ended up being one of the only people who applied for the scholarship that I applied for. I didn't realize it was a renewable scholarship, so I'm now set for the next 3 years. I almost have to pay no tuition. So a lot of people, yeah, there's a stigma that, everybody's applying for these scholarships. I'm not going to get it. Once I got over that, I put myself in a really good position. So
It's a classic example of it doesn't hurt to ask.
Right,
yes,
yeah.
And I mean, what's the biggest downfall of writing half a paper when the potential for getting thousands of dollars of free money towards your education is at stake? So yeah, just really try and push the importance of scholarships and the deadlines for those scholarships because those are very important.
No.
Oh.
You go ahead.
I think so. Too, like when you're in college, I feel like a lot of students don't realize you can still apply for scholarships. Like, and then people don't know either. So I applied for like quite a few, and they were smaller, I guess. You were saying they were smaller, but I got like almost every single one of them because I must have been like the only person who was applying. So like you can still apply while you're in college, and I would say definitely do that.
I'm curious if you're small, if you apply for enough and you take that
Yeah,
off,
yeah.
it's gonna chip away at what you have to put out.
And another thing to think about too is I know this happened with my sister, and she got into Marquette, but she was given this scholarship, or she applied for something, but it wasn't reoccurring. So I think when you're planning, the total 4 years it takes to get your degree, if college is, the plan for your kid, seeing if those scholarships are like reoccurring, or like the aid that you're getting from these institutions, ensuring that it's gonna be there consistently, because I think, when you're figuring in the kids' finances, but then also too, if you're, signing up for like a parental loan or whatever, you want to know what's going on, in 2 or 3 years, because what if your child or your student, if the student decides to take on more classes, and maybe they want like a fuller load and there's not enough money, in the bank to worry about that. I know like I've been in like risky situations, like, oh my God, I don't know if I can like finish out the semester because like I didn't realize the scholarship wasn't reoccurring. So I think when, applying for a scholarship, that's also another thing to keep in very close consideration, because it's money, so.
And I was just going to mention that for some universities, I know for UW Stout, it's we're fortunate, and I'm not sure that we're the only university, but there's literally just one application that you can fill out for every scholarship that the university has. It obviously involves, you have to write, I think, 3 essays and stuff, but in the end, writing 3 essays, but then getting your name in the hat for, hundreds of scholarships. I've, done that every year since I started school there. Every year I've gotten at least 2 scholarships just from doing that. So it's been well worth it to do that. And so I would, if I was you or your child, I would definitely be looking into, does my university have something like that where I don't have to be applying to all these individual ones? Can I just apply for this like university-wide one? So.
Thank you all.
Speaking about the application process, your senior year, could you talk a little bit about what that took in order for you to get ready and get prepared to actually fill out the applications? What did you have to do? What did you have to gather? What did you have to write? When were the due dates for things? Could you comment a little bit on that?
When I transferred over to Madison, the key things that I had to go through were getting 3 letters of recommendation, and those come so you always have to think about people who were significant in your life and who had a big impact on you, and you had a big impact on them, and then they'll write you a letter and that'll help you get into the college you need to go into. Another thing is that they might ask you, why do you want to go into this college? And it's not just simply about, oh, well, I'm just there to get the degree and all that stuff. It's also about what's special about this college, and why do you want to go there? What are the things you're going to enjoy about it? What are the things you're going to do in it? How are you going to help? How are you going to help impact the Badger community?
I think during senior year, applying for college, for me it was like really stressful. Like, oh my God, like I have to figure out where I'm going to go to school for the next 4 years, and then oh my goodness, I have a test in like this AP literature class. Like I can't keep up. But I think the biggest mistake for high school seniors is their senior year. It's like, yeah, I want to have fun. Like it's my last year. I don't really have to worry about anything. But to John's point, some of the colleges that I applied to, like they asked for letters of recommendations. I know one of them called one of my science teachers and was like, hey, how's Wally as a student, So senior year, I know it's so hard, but keeping up with what's happening in Greenfield, like as a student, but then making sure that you're being an advocate for yourself and what you believe in, like in terms of, hey, I like photography, or I like science, and if you do like those things, maintaining that relationship with your teachers thereafter. That way they, for your student, for your child, that way they have a good, good rapport and good support when it comes to applying to those college. And then I think as a parent too, a big thing is scheduling campus visits. I never really did that when I was in high school, and I think if I did, it would have helped me out, like going down to Chicago. But during the senior year, it was really tough, and just trying to keep everything together. It's difficult, but just realizing that you should go out with the bang and, just maintaining those relationships so that you do have something to look back on and say, yeah, I did that and I'm proud of it. And this is why I think my past is great for this institution and building a future and contributing to society. So.
Yeah. Applications and stuff, and like with resumes and sending all this information out to colleges, they really do love all of your extracurriculars. So not only are extracurriculars just good in and of themselves, but the connections that you make with those extracurricular activities, they can provide potential information sources for the people who would recommend you for the area of study that you're going into, should you attend that college. I had another point. I lost it. Oh wow, sorry about that.
Kind of going off of Wally's comment, it is very overwhelming because there's so many scholarships you can apply for. Like there will be some on the GHS website, there will be some that you're getting in, you can pick up from the office, or you're getting in homeroom. There's just so many. So what I would recommend and what I did was first, like I took a day to figure out like which ones actually apply to me, like because I knew I wasn't going to go to a four-year university, so I just took the technical ones. So I figured out which one would apply to me that the first day. And another day, of course, in my calendar I marked like when all of them were due, so you wouldn't be working on one when one's past due, and just have it organized. I would say is key, like just writing it down somewhere, having them at your spot on the table at home, something, just have them up there so you remember to work on them.
Remembered what I was going to say. So as far as deadlines go for applying for scholarships, I'm sure you guys know that you definitely need to apply sooner than later, as in like senior year, fall, spring, that's when you need to apply. I, as a senior student, was like, oh, I'm sure you can just apply as soon as summer starts. 3 months is enough time. No, it's not enough time. That's not how it works. So definitely get your kids to just start sending out applications, even if they're like, I don't know, that school seems kind of interesting. It's like, just send an application. It doesn't hurt. And then visiting colleges, that was a biggie. So visiting colleges is really important. Again, this is for senior year. But try and visit as many of the colleges that you're interested as you can. And if you know anybody at those colleges, really see if you can talk to them and see if you can get a little more info. I was interested in going to MSOE, so I had a friend, her dad was the master electrician there. So we both scheduled a tour for MSOE. We saw everything, and then the master electrician showed us everything else everybody else didn't get to see. So if you know anybody at those colleges, it really helps in order to get more info, and sometimes you can talk to professors. It's really helpful.
When I looked at colleges, I started my junior year, just because I didn't want to stress during my senior year, because I knew I had 5 AP classes, and I'd be looking for like scholarships, and I had a job, and I was in sports, and I'm like, I just want to get this done. So I started doing my visits like the summer before, and then I applied September 1st, because that's when you can, but the system kept crashing. Everyone's like, ah. So maybe September 2nd, like really ambitious. So I did that, and when I decided what college I wanted to, I went back and remembered how that field felt. I think when you go to a university, just like making sure it like feels like home and like you can see yourself studying and like meeting people there. But I didn't really put a lot of like stress on it. I kind of just picked one of my top 3 and like put a lot of like faith into it and just like let the opportunities like kind of come to me. And I really love Oshkosh. Like there's like, I'm still learning like a lot of cool stuff about it. They have EAA, there's like so much different things going on that like you don't know about your university till you get there, and that opens up new doors that you never were looking for. So like I don't really necessarily think you need to know what you're doing sometimes, because it introduces you to like different things that you never would have thought of before. So I don't know, I'm kind of laid back, I guess, with picking colleges, but I like where I am.
For me,
You go first.
okay, I kind of had an idea my junior year of where I wanted to go. So over spring break, I toured all the places I wanted to go, but I also toured all the places my best friend wanted to go. So, because we just went everywhere together. So it kind of like gave me ideas of what do I like about a college, like what kind of field do I want, because in the end, it was like between lacrosse and Carroll for me, and I want to go for physical therapy. And so really, well, I got into the graduate school already for Carroll, like the undergrad feeds into the graduate, and PT is very competitive. So like it was a very hard decision, but just like the feel of lacrosse, like the smaller town feel, I really liked. So like just seeing all the different colleges helped make my decision. And then for the application process, my counselor, Miss Bauer, she kind of put the seed in my head that, oh, we like to have all our applications done by Thanksgiving. So like I pumped it out and got them all done by Thanksgiving, which I found out later was like really good because one of my friends from lifeguarding, he wanted to go to Madison, but he applied the second round, and they kind of told him, oh, like we would love to have you, but we kind of already filled up all our spots. So if he'd applied the first time around, he would have gotten in, but because he waited a little later, he didn't get in. So apply early and tour.
Bouncing off of everyone's things about applying early or like whatnot, I am at Waukesha right now, just doing my gen eds, stayed at home, saved a lot of money, and now I hope to go to Whitewater this fall. I am working on, I sent in my application, I got accepted, but like I'm filling out housings, I literally was doing that this morning, and you think, okay, I'm gonna sit down, half hour, crank this out. I logged on, or I tried to do it yesterday. You log on, and then it says, oh, you have to email housing, and they have to open up the application to you. So I had to do that. Then today I got the email at 8:47 in the morning saying you are now able to apply. Got to the third step, and then it's like, print out this page, submit your check for $125, and then it takes 3 to 5 business days for Whitewater to receive it, and then you will be opened up to fill out the rest of the application. So as I was leaving for this event, I gave my mom the letter. I was like, put this in the mail so I can apply. As I said, I thought it would take, an hour, I'd get it done, and now it's gonna take me like 5 days. So apply early and just be on top of everything.
This also sort of plays a role in general when you're in school, so we're talking about a lot of deadlines to applying and scholarships and stuff like that. Well, now that I'm in classes and stuff like that, you might start getting syllabus that say, well, you have this big exam, but it's only about a month from now, you don't have to worry. Then one of my issues was, of course, I don't have to do anything for like 4 weeks, but then you have 1 week left to do research and then create a paper and go through rough drafts and all stuff like that. It sounds like pretty nice being a month away, but it is good to start working on that work immediately, not completely in the first week, but start getting stuff together. So that whole concept of deadlines and due dates, I think, can be applied also to when you're actually in college and when you're going through these courses.
The one last thing that I wanted to really bring up was the idea that I heard before of going to tour colleges with your best friend. I've seen it way too often in college so far that people have gone to a university based straight off of what other people that they hang out with have done, and that almost never works out. If you choose to go to a university based strictly off of where your friends are going, I've seen multiple people that I graduated with go to multiple universities at this point based off of, they actually really just didn't like it there. They went there for their friends, basically. So if I can make one thing clear, just make sure you actually enjoy being on campus. You have to be on campus. Now, I'm not sure if this is a UW system official rule or not, but at least at Stout, we were supposed to be on campus for at least 2 years. So you're going to be spending a lot of time on campus there. Make sure you enjoy where you're living, because you're going to be around there constantly. So don't just go where your friends are going.
how do you decide your major, and how much is your parents' influence there?
How did you decide your major, you said?
Mhm.
I mean, part of it is just, you've gone through life and, there's a lot of things that make an impression on you. So the reason I'm a history major is because, I really got interested in like watching a lot of movies about explorers or, war movies and stuff like that. And it really got me interested in learning about these events of the past and how that plays into the future. So that's what I really like about history is learning what were the big issues and big topics of, decades and centuries ago, and how that's still really influencing us today.
Yeah, I really think it's just about the kid, and like you said, the experiences that the child has had throughout their years of life play a role in where they decide they want the future of their life to go. For me, personally, I really liked working with my hands, and I was planning to become a mechanical engineer, which is really nice. So also, if your student knows what they want to do, like for me, the PLTW, the Project Lead the Way courses, those are perfect for me. I'm using what I learned then today in my college classes. It's almost the exact same. So if they know where they're going, definitely take a look at the opportunities that the school has, because we do have a lot, and then see if they can take those courses. But yeah, so it's based on, I guess, what the child is sort of grown to like. And so I was planning to become a mechanical engineer, and then I did the Youth Options Program, another very nice program that this school offers. And I decided I like building what the engineers drew up more than just drawing it up. So there are a lot of factors that play into deciding a major, but I would say probably the most important thing is just exploring the possibilities that you have right now.
Could you talk a little bit more about what Greenfield gave you to take with you when you went to college? When you left Greenfield and you entered college, what were some of the things that you were like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I did blank, because now I can, because I hear Project Lead the Way, I hear the Youth Options Program. What else can you tell us about that might be helpful for our community here?
I guess tying that in, kind of with the last question too, I was going to say something. But taking gen ed, like, what do they call them here, electives, like more seriously as like more of a career, like the culinary classes, I feel like most of the students in those classes are either taking them to eat, like just another class, more credits. But, I took it because I was really interested in that, and like that could actually be a career for you. So if your student is like most students, in my opinion, that like don't really, aren't quite sure what they want to do, they're not, like, I was the one student who knew what they wanted to do in high school. I don't think most students are like that. So my suggestion would be, I know MATC's page where you